Hello, Donna Spencer, Lucre Journey here. I thought we would start talking about a couple of the excursions we went on our last cruise. Now, this particular excursion was in Ocho Rios, Jamaica, and it was the tubing and blue hole excursion combo. All right. First thing to tell you is we went at the end of February, beginning of March. Now, if you are prone to being a little more on the cold-blooded side, that might not be the best time to go tubing. My husband thought it felt great, but then we know he's a Viking. I, however, was shivering at the end of this ride because the water was so much cooler and the air temperature was so much cooler than I thought. All in all, it was an okay excursion. I don't feel the need to go tubing again. We had, one of my biggest complaints was, like here in the Midwest, when you go tubing, like down the Blue River or down the Wabash River or any of those rivers, you tend to all just kind of go. And you talk and you laugh and you joke and you know, drink, preferably water, but we all know that's not always water. However, in this particular tubing instance, there was a lot of waiting. They had strung ropes at certain points across the river, and you were or cables, and you were supposed to wait there for the group, and then they would let you go like one at a time. Now, the first couple times it was for photography options during the tubing part, but then later on, it was simply because we got to the rapids part and they didn't want too many people going too quickly down the rapids because, of course, they didn't want a lot of problems. However, this led to a lot of time just sitting there holding on to this rope or this cable. I mean, we made the best of it. We understood why, but it really, when they said we were tubing, I really kind of thought it'd be a bit more like the tubing here in the Midwest. And when I saw the images indicated a bit more speed to the tubing, and that wasn't the case either. It was actually a very slow process. The blue hole was very interesting in regards to what was going on. You are given the option to jump off of a concrete slab that is jutting out over the blue hole right next to the falls. It's somewhere in the vicinity of a 15 to 20 foot drop. They tried to tell me it was 10 feet. There's enough of a drop that when I thought I got to 10 feet, I actually had the thought, where's the water? And then I hit the water and I went, there's the water, and popped back up again. They also take you a little further downstream and allow you to do this swing out, not a swing that you sit on, but one that you hold on to. So if you've got not as much upper arm strength as you'd like, you're probably going to end up just flopping into the water, but if you can, you swing yourself all the way out with your knees up and then drop further down. However, we went when the water level was higher. The river itself had quite a bit more power to it, and so once you got to the lower fall or the lower area there after that swing, you had to be careful or you'd be swept further downstream than you wanted to be. Suggestions, tipping is mentioned often. Now, I don't know if you caught my other video on TikTok perhaps, but the currency here is Jamaican currency, and it is $155 and some change to one of ours. So the exchange rate is unbelievable. So they definitely appreciate tipping. Even a couple dollars is something of a small fortune for them. As you can see here, their money is beautiful. That is a 500 note, the value of a 500. And the gentleman who was our bus guide was telling us that it might buy some candy, some soda, maybe some other snacks, but that's it. It was just astounding, the exchange difference. Also be aware, when getting on your bus, make sure to look at the front and the back of the bus. Most of my group did not look at the back of the bus because you leave all of your things on the bus. They lock the bus when everyone gets out and unlock it when everyone gets back. So you want to keep track of where your things are, and nobody looked at the back of the bus because we approached it from the front and the side. So we weren't, most of the bus didn't realize that was our bus, and the guides kept telling us, no, that's our bus. And we're all going, no, that's not our bus doesn't look like that. And they're like, no, it's really your bus. So make sure you look, the front of the bus looks different from the back of the bus. So you might want to take a look at both of those so you can find it quickly in the parking lot. Also, in regards to the bus is not fluffy friendly in the least. It's not even friendly, I think, for people who need a little more legroom because of various surgeries and things, as one of our party experienced. She had a hard time with her leg being in such a small set area. On the way back, we were able to get her on the outside of the aisle, and she was kind of able to stretch the knee that had surgery out there a little bit. But my poor Viking of a husband struggled. It was not fluffy friendly at all. But the crew involved went above and beyond. Never once did we not feel taken care of. They kept us moving, but we did not feel rushed. They were able to get a second jump in for us at the Blue Hole instead of just the one, so we were able to do the process again, which was really nice because it gave me the opportunity to get in front of all of the family members and friends that came with us and get the GoPro in front so that we could record them from a different line and have better footage. I do feel it imperative to warn you though. One of the cash crops in Jamaica is marijuana. And for whatever reason, individuals who cultivate it will prepare edibles in the form of brownies and things for you, and then will actually be sitting in the river trying to sell them to you. Now, funny enough, they don't tend to go up to the women. They only tend to go up to the men. But I think that has something to do with one of the little stories we got told about how there's always, in Jamaica, there's a church and then there's a bar. And the women go to the church to get the Holy Spirit and the men go to the bar to get the other spirit. Now, I don't know how much of that is accurate and how much of that was just for the tourists. But my husband, and I noticed most of the other men in the group, were solicited by some of these individuals who would come up and try to sell them these edibles. Warning, we have no idea. There's no regulations at all. And if you are caught smoking marijuana in Jamaica, that is illegal. They will come right up to you, they will offer it to you, and they will offer to collect payment when you get back to the bus. That was about the only thing I had a bit of a problem with, was the ease at which these people could bring these edibles to us and then successfully sell them to individuals. The guides did their best to make sure that anyone who looked remotely uncomfortable was saved from that situation. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. There was a young man in the group. I would imagine somewhere between 11 and 13. They did not attempt to solicit him in any way. So I was very pleased to see it was predominantly the older males that they went after. I think the only thing that would have made that excursion better was two things. Not that we had any problems with anybody in the group, but fewer numbers would have been nice, and fewer log jams during the tubing would have been nice, because we ended up being log jammed so often that we actually absorbed another two small groups before we all got down the river and they could take pictures of us. But all in all, it was a very good excursion, especially for individuals who, you know, like a little bit of thrill, but don't exactly want to do a lot of physical work. Lots of ums. I'm not okay with that. Are you coming back? Do you know what you want in life? Are you happy now? I think he's going to let me continue. Anyway, where was I? Do you not like my commentary? Simba. Hey. You're being rude.